G'day men, Danny Lyttle joining you again today. And as I sit here enjoying my ice bath, I am thinking about you guys and so many of my clients. How often do you do the hard things that are right for you instead of always choosing the easy things? You know, one of the biggest differences between a child and an adult is that an adult does what they need to do and what they should do. And well, even that you can argue with, because there are so many adults that are being complacent rather than doing their own thinking and research and understanding and personal development, that they rely on someone else to do the growth for them, and they don't even want to think about what's right anymore. They just are mindlessly dictated by the media or the newspaper or their friends, their social network. Right? What is common is not necessarily what's right. Actually, I learned the other week that the Bible says the path of the righteous man is... No, that's pop fiction. Forgive me. I'm sure you'll know the scripture. It's about being... the path to Jesus is straight and narrow. And it's not straight as in a straight line, but straight as in Bass Strait or a strait of water. And as I looked up the dictionary of a strait, it comes from the Latin word of control, self-control. And if you think about one ocean trying to squeeze through two bodies of land onto the other side, that there's quite a fair bit of pressure and a fair bit of turbulence, and it requires a fair bit of discipline from the land to funnel that water from, say, the east coast of Australia through the Bass Strait of Victoria and Tasmania into the southern and western side of Australia. Not that I'm an expert on geography, but that'll do. But more importantly, it's interesting that it's not meant to be easy. In fact, we know that people who have an easy life are typically, for lack of a better word, mama's boys. They're a bit of a crybaby when they don't get their own way. They're typically overweight. You look at the person and it's like, you've never worked a hard day in your life, mate. What is your life amounting to? And this is because too often they choose the easy choice. You know, you see a spoiled kid who's slightly overweight and they're just in that chubby phase because their parents give everything to them easily. They don't have any calluses or thickness to their life. So I suppose my time's all messed up. I want you to think about, when was the last time you did the right thing that was hard? The hard thing that was right. You know, we go to the gym, which is a hard thing. We push our bodies, developing our bodies. We go to work, and many people think that's ticking my hard box. You know, work is hard. Having my wife and kids is hard. Living in today's society is hard. Yeah, well, that's wonderful, but everyone's doing that hard. And if everyone's doing it, then it's no longer the exception, right? It's the common. And you don't want to be common. You want to be uncommon. Be uncommon amongst common men, right? And that comes from doing the hard things. It's about being disciplined. Right? I don't necessarily agree with Jocko Willings about getting up at 4 a.m. I don't entirely agree with the 75 hard challenge, but there's still a lot of good things that come from that kind of mentality. So if it's about setting the alarm for half an hour earlier, if it's about going to the gym or starting to go for walks, as simple as that, guys, going for a regular walk, an ice bath, you know, these things have shot to fame in the last 3 years. They're wonderful for your immune system. They're wonderful for your mindset. Come home from a hard day of work, I sit in here for 5 minutes listening to a good meditation song, and I hop out and I'm charged. I'm ready to go again for the second half of the day. It's 4:30, 5 o'clock, I think. 4:30. I'm going to hop out of this. I'm going to have more bandwidth for this afternoon. Audit your life. Don't always do the easy stuff. Where could you be challenging yourself? And if you don't know how, if you don't know where, call me, mate. That's what I do. Get a coach. That's what we do. Be good to yourself. And that means do the hard things. right? Like fasting, 1 day a month, 1 weekend a month. You'll be amazed what just that does to you. Having that first meal back because all of a sudden food isn't just an essential, a secondary thought of your day, but now you actually appreciate and enjoy that first meal back after fasting for a weekend. There's so many ways that you could just put a little bit of something in that would drastically change your mindset and skew your life off onto a new tangent of unknown possibilities. So be good to yourself, because you two will be together for a while.